All right, let's dive into Ayurveda, one of the world's oldest, most complete systems of holistic healing. We're going to spend the next few minutes exploring the absolute core principles of this incredible science of life. But first, let's just start with a really big question. What does it actually mean to be healthy? Is it just not being sick? Well, Ayurveda has a different take. It suggests it's something way deeper, a state of perfect, blissful harmony, not just in your body, but in your mind and your spirit too. So, here's our roadmap. We're going to start by redefining what health even is. Then, we'll get into the 5 elements that make up pretty much everything. After that, we'll meet the 3 doshas that run our bodies, and then we'll unpack the simple but profound principle of balance. And we'll wrap it all up with a mind-bending idea that you are literally a reflection of the universe.
Okay, Section 1. What is true health? You see, the main goal of Ayurveda isn't just treating you when you get sick. The ancient texts say its highest purpose is to preserve the health of the healthy. Think about that. It's a proactive science of staying well, not just a reactive one for when things go wrong.
Now, check out this definition from an ancient text called the Sushruta Samhita. It covers everything, right? Balanced energies, good digestion, but the real kicker is that last part, whose mind, soul, and senses are full of bliss. So, true health isn't just feeling okay, it's a state of genuine, radiant joy.
All right, moving on. To understand how the body works, Ayurveda first looks to the universe itself. The idea is that everything, and I mean everything, from a star to a rock to you and me, is made from 5 basic building blocks. They're called the Panchmahabhut, or the 5 great elements.
And here they are. You've got ether, or space, which is linked to sound. Then there's air, which we experience through touch. After that is fire, which gives us sight and form. Then jala, or water, which relates to taste. And finally, prithvi, or earth, which gives us our sense of smell. The whole idea is that every single thing is just a unique recipe of these 5 ingredients.
So, if those are the building blocks, what exactly do they build inside of us? Well, that brings us to Section 3, the 3 bioenergies, or as they're known in Ayurveda, the doshas. These are the main forces at play in our bodies, and they're formed when those 5 elements combine in special ways. Now, it's really important to get this. Doshas aren't just physical things you can find under a microscope. Think of them more like intelligent principles or forces. They're the invisible managers running everything behind the scenes, from your metabolism to your thoughts to the simple act of blinking your eyes.
This chart breaks it down so well. First, you have Vata. It's made of air and ether, and it's all about movement. Think of the wind. It's light, cold, and always moving. Then there's Pitta, from fire and water. This governs all transformation, like your metabolism. Its energy is like the sun, hot, sharp, and intense. And finally, Kapha, born from earth and water. This one provides structure and stability, kind of like the moon's steady energy. It's heavy, slow, and cool. We all have a unique mix of these 3.
Okay, so if we're all made of these energies, how do we stay healthy? This is where it all comes together, in Section 4, with the principle of balance. It's simple. Health is when your personal mix of doshas is in harmony. Disease is what happens when they get out of whack.
And the way you maintain that balance is just beautifully logical. First, there's the principle of samanya, which just means sameness. It says that like increases like. So for example, if you're already feeling cold and you go eat a bunch of ice cream, well, that cold quality inside you is only going to increase. Makes sense, right?
And the other half of the puzzle is vishesha, the principle of difference or opposites. And this is the real key to healing. It states that opposites will balance each other out. So if you're feeling that excess cold, you can bring yourself back into balance by applying warmth, say by drinking a hot cup of ginger tea.
Here's a perfect example of how that works. Let's say you have an excess of Vata, which is naturally cold and dry. Well, a cold, windy day is going to make it even worse, like increases like. So what's the fix? You bring in the opposite qualities. You apply warmth, you use moisturizing oils, you eat warm, soupy foods. The big takeaway is that balance isn't some fixed state. It's a constant, dynamic dance.
And that leads us to our final and maybe the most profound idea of all. Why does this whole balancing act even work? It's because Ayurveda sees you as not separate from the universe. You are a perfect miniature replica of it. This is called the Loka Purusha Samya principle.
Just listen to this verse from the ancient Charaka Samhita. It says it all, doesn't it?
The individual, that's the Purusha, is a microcosm, a perfect little reflection of the macrocosm, the loka, or the universe. So whatever is out there has a matching counterpart right inside of you.
And this slide just makes that connection so clear. The sun in the cosmos, that's your inner fire, your pitta, your metabolism. The moon with its cool, nurturing energy, that's reflected in kapha, which lubricates and cools your body. The wind blowing outside, that's vatsa, the principle of movement inside you. It even extends to our emotions. The energy of a storm god, Rudra, is what fuels our anger. And Soma, the divine nectar, is what we feel as pure contentment.
So what's the bottom line here? It's that your health is not just some personal internal thing. It is a direct reflection of how in sync you are with the rhythms and forces of the entire natural world. Being healthy means being in harmony with the universe.
Which kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. If your body is truly a universe in miniature, a reflection of the cosmos, what's one small thing you could do today to start living in greater harmony with it?